I understand that, Chair, but I do believe everyone else has spoken here for between 25. Peter Starty spoke for 30 minutes. Matt Carty spoke for 15. Michael Collins spoke for 17. Danny Healy-Rae spoke for 10. Louise O'Reilly spoke for 10. So, and now you want me to try and get in 5 other speakers. So I'm sorry. And not only that.
No. Just a second, Deputy. Just a second. Let me just explain. I'm trying to accommodate everybody insofar as is possible. The last speaker did do that as best as possible. And to be fair to everybody, to give everybody a chance of expressing some words, or of course you can continue on for the duration and run the clock down, in which case there's nobody else speaks.
On a point of order, our party did request that all parties would be allocated time. That wasn't agreed by government, and the government set the order, unfortunately, for the time and the way it is conducted. So we do only have 9 minutes and 23 seconds left, unfortunately.
And some people decided they wanted to have interreactions and run down the clock themselves.
We asked that everybody would have.
I know, but I, from the outset, indicated
I agree
to accommodate everybody, and it's up to yourselves. But you know, you have the right to go on if you want to go on. But there's swings and roundabouts.
Well, I suppose it does, and people that interact with other people while they were speaking, I suppose if they had a bit of cop on, they might have had a bit more time themselves. So, Minister. We're looking here at your budget, and you had $5 billion left over in the budget from the excessive taxes after you've done your accounts this year. So when you have $5 billion left over, and you see people have energy costs of increases of up to 300%, and you start introducing, saying that you're going to allow people that if they are 30% of their ESB bills, energy bills, the last time you'll allow it back to last September, I think is what you said. Which is welcome, but at the same time, on the increased cost of the electricity costs in this country and the increased cost in oil in this country, you're taking massive amount of tax. I was the first person to highlight the fuel problem in this country when I brought a truck through in the gate here in the Dáil last October, 12 months. I was the first person to bring in, to highlight at that time, because I could see it. And why could I see it? I'm from a farming background. I'm self-employed myself. I could see the issues that were coming down the line for transport, for agriculture. And I told you at the time, 12 months out, that this was going to create inflation. It was going to increase the cost of food production in this country. It was going to increase the cost of people being transported to their workplace when they have no other alternative. Now, Minister, when you're being driven around, and I have no issue with you being driven around, you might give one look out the windows when your driver is taking you around, and look at the average age of a vehicle in this country. As I was heading out of Dublin last week, I decided I'd do a survey myself, looking around at what was the average age of a vehicle in Dublin. The average age of a vehicle in Dublin is 2013 to 2014 are the most popular cars in Dublin. But yet you look outside every door in every house in Dublin, they have a car. And then you try and get in here in the mornings, there's 3 lanes of traffic coming in, there's 3 lanes of traffic going out. So the people in Dublin that have transport still can't avail of it because it doesn't work if you've got a young family. And if you've got 2 or 3 children and they're going in different directions, public transport doesn't work. So now you have 2.3 million cars in this country, and they have a short journey to work. When you look at a person from a rural point of view, they have all the long journeys. So whether it's going to the shop, going to school if they don't have the transport, going to a doctor's appointment, going to work, everything, going to matches, going to training, it's all driving. And you've done a survey recently to show that you're afraid that you're going to lose all your rural TDs. And you know something, it would be right if you did. Because they haven't represented the people that they were supposed to represent. The vulnerable people of rural Ireland. And I mentioned the red cow before, and it was a Limerick man that had it. It was a Limerick man that named it. But I'm afraid anything after that, you've forgotten about. And I do hope it's taken out on you on the doors. And I do hope it's taken out on the party members that failed to represent and came to Dublin and nodded yes or no, sir, 3 bags full, sir, and left their own people vulnerable. And the reason why your government haven't tackled this is you do not understand rural living, rural life, and you don't understand business. So now you're looking at the fuel cost. The price of an acre of silage to be picked up went from 90 euros to 160 euros. Where do you think the price of that is going to go? But yet, the milk price went up, now it's after coming back down. Now the price of fuel, you're talking about putting it back up again. And the taxes that you're taking on. You have 50 cents on a litre of petrol, and you have 44-cent tax on a litre of diesel. But yet green diesel and white diesel are nearly on a par. And who are you taking it out on? On the people that are trying to produce food in this country and try and make their business sustainable. I spoke to you earlier on about the warehousing of tax. I spoke to you earlier on about the people spent their savings to keep their businesses open because they thought it was only for a short time during COVID. Not after their savings then that they had a tax liability, so they warehoused that thinking there was going to be light at the end of the tunnel. But every time the subsidies come in, it doesn't cover the increases in energy costs in this country. It doesn't cover it. So they're losing all the time. And you're not helping. Now, I do welcome what you've done with the hotels, which I asked you for as well, because I understand the business myself and how important it is for a circular economy and the local employment that it creates, and for local businesses locally. When people come to the hotels, they travel locally all around the country, and they spend in the local shops, they spend everywhere. So it's a circular economy. It might be advisable if you got somebody from the business sector into this government to explain to you what SMEs, how they survive and how they have to work. So, Minister, I would ask your advice here, for your advice. Will you please sit down with us and I will explain to you very simply how you can help all the business. And I'm going to leave you the 3 minutes on the clock for you to sum up. I think he has, or does he have time after 3 minutes? But
we have 3 minutes left.
It's not the minister's coming in next.
Wants to make a point.
Well, I leave time for the next speaker that's speaking.
Thank you.
I'll stop it in 20. But Minister, I would ask you to look at all your TDs in the rural areas and what the people are saying to them. All of them. They're all saying the same thing, that you're not representing the people you're supposed to represent. And if you want to make this a Dublin-based or a Cork-based city government, then you go ahead with that. Thank you.
Cormac Devlin.